BTB listeners, thank you so much for checking out today's episode. Listen, if this episode inspires you, do me a favor, take 5 seconds to shoot me a like and subscribe to the podcast. There are several more exciting guests that are in the pipeline, and I just can't thank you enough for your continued support, and let's keep paying the mission forward. In today's BTB episode, we're going to dive into part 2 of a 6-part series, The Ultimate Comeback. And if you're tuning into today's episode, I do encourage you to backtrack by one episode and take a look at the first step to your ultimate comeback, which dove into change, currently on Spotify and Apple Podcast. Would love for you to tune in there, as it's a great prerequisite to today's conversation.
Don't be afraid of the dark. Be careful with stars. Not every light is gonna guide you, baby.
Welcome to the BTB Project, designed to empower listeners to identify their why and to live their best lives no matter the circumstances. My name is Kollman Gerhardt, a former athlete and motivational coach. I've had the opportunity to inspire thousands through my story and help accomplish what they are built to be. You'll be encouraged by each and every episode, and let's get into it.
Yeah, when I blow up, I'ma soar high like Peter Pan. In real life, be living out my dreams. If I'm waking up, it's in a foreign land.
When I think back to what it means to have a comeback and things that I've learned in my own life or things that I've experienced helping others accomplish their goals when their back is against the wall, this term regret comes to mind in almost a hypocritical way of what I've experienced. Because a lot of people ask me often about my tennis career and the success that I had as a player. And when I have thought about it many times in the past, I always share that I don't have any regrets, because I was able to accomplish everything that I set my mind to as a tennis player. I wanted to play Division I college tennis. I wanted to play at a level that allowed me to be competitive in college tennis. I wanted to transform my body and become in the best shape of my life. And often I walked away from that situation thinking, I don't have any regrets. I did exactly what I wanted to do. But part of making a comeback is you have to actually look at life and things that you experience, mistakes that you've made, shortcomings that you've had, and actually call them out. The truth is, I have a lot of regrets in my life. Situations and things I would have handled better. And it's important that you as the listener come to terms with the regrets that you have as part of the process to setting the foundation for your ultimate comeback. Now listen, regret is a natural human emotion, and it often arises from things that you think about, like missed opportunities, mistakes, or unfulfilled potential. And it could lead to you sometimes feeling guilt or sadness. And it's an aspect of our life that can actually keep us anchored to the past, to not wanting to take action. And it's important to understand that everybody has regrets. You are not a human being, or you're incredibly self-centered if you don't have any regrets. And it's important that that's part 1 of today's message, because having regrets or making mistakes is part of a human experience. You are not perfect. We were born into a world that has imperfection all around us. So knowing that that's a prerequisite to understanding, to laying that brick and mortar of your ultimate comeback, You have to be able to take ownership that you're not perfect, that you're going to come with mistakes. All of us are imperfect. From there, I want you to take an action step. Think about some of those regrets and think about them with honesty. Write them down. Write down the things that you wish could have been different, that you would have handled different. Acknowledge their impact. Once you're able to have that pen on the pad, you're beginning to take ownership of the things that you wish you could change, things that you could have handled different. That's why it's so important that step one in your ultimate comeback is to accept that you need to change. And step two is accept that you have a lot of regrets, a lot of failures, a lot of shortcomings that you need to deal with. And those shortcomings are not what define you. There's a concept out there that I firmly believe in, and it's the power of second chances. You have to embrace the belief that life often offers these second chances, and each day is an opportunity for a fresh start. If you're able to wake up in the morning, take a deep breath, and open your eyes, that's a pretty damn good day. And God specializes in these redemptive moments, these comebacks that we have in our life, because your story isn't over. Whatever happened the night before, whatever happened the week prior, a year ago, it's not over. I often use the analogy of a book because books are good because of the stories that are told within the entirety of the book. And there are chapters and there are seasons of life. And our regrets are just part of that. Once those are written down, realize that your worth is not determined by those past mistakes. It's determined by the choices you make moving forward. Think about it this way. Identify one area of your life where you can start fresh. Set a small, manageable goal to begin moving in that new direction and start chipping away at it. An example for me is I regret some of the passivity that I have in my life. Meaning, when I grew up, I experienced enough trauma and hardships that I often kind of programmed myself that I just wanted to have normalcy. And if anything got off the rails, I would shut down and try not to have too much of a response to negative circumstances in my life. And what I realize and what I regret is I was building a muscle of not only shutting down when things were tough or there was trauma, but when things got exciting and amazing in my life, I became so numb and callous to some of those situations that I wasn't even able to enjoy some of the most fruitful moments in my life because I programmed myself to always be even keel, not too high, not too low with my emotions. And that was something that disappointed me. It made me sad because there's way too many beautiful things that have happened in life that why not take a step back and recognize the joy in that? That's the power of second chances. Being able to overcome that adversity and ultimately having beauty at the end of it. Part of this exercise of recognizing your regret is it's an important step for you to move forward. Holding on to your regret prevents growth and progress. It's like carrying this heavy anchor that drags you back and it never allows you to move forward. It's the epitome of a monkey on your back. I talk to athletes about this all the time. They want to perform at a higher level, and all they talk about is, what can I do more, coach? What can I do to work harder, to train harder, to do more reps. And all of that is fantastic. But ultimately, are you doing that rep holding on to a regret? Because if you're doing that rep while holding on to a regret, that rep is only so maximized. It can only be leveraged for growth and change and maximize your potential based off of how that rep is conducted. So part of these regrets and understanding them is not forgetting about them. Letting go of these regrets is not about never believing that they ever happened. It means releasing the emotional weight that holds you back, that's tied to the regret. And that's part of forgiving yourself. Both, not just yourself, but also the others that have hurt you or that have made a situation challenging. That's a critical part of releasing regret. So are you able to practice self-forgiveness? One thing that I did many years ago that helped was I ended up writing a letter to myself, expressing forgiveness of past mistakes, and I kept it with me as a reminder of my commitment of how I was going to move forward. So what about after that list of regrets, you write a letter to yourself, forgiving yourself for what's on that piece of paper and reminding yourself of who you are and who you want to become, and having that as a brick and mortar moment as you're making your comeback to always fall back on. Turn your regret into motivation. Use your regrets as fuel for positive change. Let these regretful moments of the past inform better decisions for you and your actions in the future. Instead of dwelling on what could have been, focus on what can be. Focus on what's right in front of you right now. Turn the I wish I had into I will now. And transform your regrets into learning experiences. That's a fantastic quote that I came across recently. Is there's no losing in sports or life. There's only learning if you don't give up. That's exactly what a regret can be in your life. It can be a teachable moment. It can be the prerequisite to not only changing the direction of your life, to have that always be in the back of your mind of where you've been and where you want to go. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. So go ahead and think about that in your life. Identify one lesson from a past regret and apply that to a current goal. And let that past guide you and not bind you. For me, one of my biggest regrets was not having a coach that supported me. Now, ultimately, as I developed in my tennis career, I did have some coaches that supported me along the way. But initially, I felt like I was on my own. And that pain of trying to do something and accomplish a goal like playing Division I college tennis, doing that primarily on my own, I didn't want other kids to have to experience that. So that's why this calling of coaching and giving back over the last 20 years has been a way for me to take that regret and change the narrative by being a coach like I never had. That's simply taking a difficult circumstance in your life and making it a testimony, making it beautiful, making it something that can help a whole lot of other people besides yourself. So as you've been able to identify some of those lessons from your regrets, been able to write that letter to yourself, forgiving yourself for those regrets, this is where you really get to start creating your comeback story. Your ultimate comeback begins when you decide that your past doesn't control your future. No matter how small, rewrite your narrative. every positive step you take is a step away from regret and towards your comeback. Embrace the idea that your story is something that's unfolding and that the best chapters in your life are yet to be written. So now you get to start to vision. I've been able to have several folks on the podcast that have talked about using a vision board and setting a clear vision on your future and writing that down and mapping it and seeing it. What do you want to do in the next 6 months? What do you want to do in the next year? Start visualizing what's possible and outline 3 actionable steps to help get you there. This doesn't have to be this incredibly elaborate, complex plan. Just something that you can end up seeing visually. And through creating those small steps of getting there, now you have a pretty good idea of what's happened in the past. Now you have a pretty good idea of what could happen in the future. And you have steps, you have actions, you have things that you can do on a daily basis to get you closer to those dreams on that vision board than what you've experienced with regret in the past. I think it's important for you to understand your past is a chapter. It's not the whole book. Take those regrets in your life and release them. They served you for a particular period of your life because you've learned from them. They became stepping stones into who you are today. Be sure that you're trusting in the power of second chances. Take those bold steps into the future, into your comeback, knowing that you have forgiven yourself. You have so much good to offer in this world. And you've come to terms with who you are, and you're hyper-focused on who you want to become. The only thing that is standing between you and your new beginning is the decision to let go of those regrets and to move forward. It's a decision. It's not anybody else's decision but yours. You have the power to create an ultimate comeback. So as we review again, take the opportunity to write down and recognize your regrets. From there, write a letter to yourself, forgiving yourself for what's happened in the past. Create that vision board. Put it up on the wall so you can see it every single day, that you have something to focus on, that you have something to look forward to, and have that be the focus of who you are and who you're built to be. And from there, take actionable steps. 2 to 3 actions towards each one of those goals or ambitions that you have, and just small little incremental steps. I say often 1% better every day is the goal. Incremental steps, continuing to move forward, and that will build the ultimate comeback of your dreams. Listen, if this BTB episode, part 2 of the ultimate comeback on regrets, if it impacted you, do me a favor. Take 5 seconds, go shoot me a like, share the episode, and subscribe to the BTB Project. I got 4 more exciting episodes coming up to help fuel your ultimate comeback. And I can't wait to share this content with you. Your support of the project also allows me to bring on special guests and to continue to put people in your life that have not only impacted me deeply, but I know will help change the trajectory of your life. As always, I'm proud of each and every one of you. And until next time, take care.
You're told I'll be a hard temptation.